Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
Oh, let's do a little local sports roundup brought to you by Amundsen's Appliance Center. So, should we start with hockey? Shout out Chi High.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Taking down Spash. They're the 1 seed for the state tournament that for them will begin early Friday morning.
Yeah, a team that played in the toughest sectional in the state and didn't give up a goal.
Golly. That's insane.
It's amazing the run they're on. I think it's 17 straight wins now for them, I believe. One of the two. They haven't lost since December 21st.
God.
Spash being the last.
I was going to say, was Spash the last one too?
Yeah.
So.
So they haven't lost in the calendar year of 2024. And if they get a state title, they won't lose in the
right
so far in this year. So, yeah, I mean, Parker has done such a great job with that team. Mm-hmm. And great players. You know, Hoym, Mason Johnson, Thorpe, Foyles, Marlowe, just all these names and I'm not going to Bovey. I don't want to leave anybody out. And there's plenty of players on that team I probably have missed, but just it's a team that knows their roles so well and just picked apart Spash. And that Spash team's young and they'll be back. But Chi High I think they're the class and deservedly get the number 1 seed. They've been a number 1 team for a long time in the state. Let's see if they can prove it, get down there at the state tournament on Friday, and then the championship game Saturday night.
Yep. And then on the Division II side, too, you got New Richmond and River Falls.
Yeah, so you get 2 more BRC teams. Maybe you had another chance because Menominee was the other one that was in there as well. So great year for BRC hockey and just shows you how talented that conference is.
Absolutely. So
St. Croix Valley Fusion, too, another team from River Falls. River Falls getting 2 teams that are going off to state.
Wow. Talk about this, the western side of Wisconsin here, well represented.
Indeed.
And, for the longest time, it was like Hudson Memorial, it felt like, over there. And, wow, just it's congrats and best of luck to everybody that's still over there. And I know we had a ton of individual wrestlers at state this past weekend, too.
Yep.
I was watching some of it on TV Saturday night a little bit there with some of the championships. Girls, too. I mean, that's exploding right now in popularity for girls wrestling. But was it Cumberland wrestler up there 4 straight?
4 times, yes. I mean, that's awesome. And we've had a few of those come through our area since I've been here. And it's always special because I think it was the 27th or 28th person to ever do that in the state. And you think about the amount of wrestlers that have been to the state tournament. You look at that, go on Thursday and look at those brackets and how many people are down there.
Right.
It is an amazing event. And sold out Saturday night. The Cole Center doesn't sell out for much. It really does not. I mean, even like Badger games.
Right.
Good luck trying to, unless they're playing like Purdue or something, you usually don't get a complete sellout. So that event is just put on so well, and it's great to see the success we had in the local area. Yeah,
was it Dawson Johnson from Cumberland?
Yeah.
And then I know we had, was it Wyatt Unser from Glenwood City went undefeated this
Glenwood
season.
City has had a great tradition there, too, as for wrestling, and they always have somebody down there that's battling.
Yeah.
So, and then we got team wrestling coming up this week, and Menominee making their first ever appearance. They sent a bunch of guys down to individual as well, so best of luck to the Mustangs.
Got to imagine some of that experience going to transition well over for team states.
I would think so, because, I mean, the Cole Center is the biggest platform you're on. Now you go over to the field house, which is a little smaller, but then you're going to have more people on top of you because it's a smaller venue.
And more eyes focused on you, too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the match.
Right.
That's kind of going on.
Exactly. So I think you have the first day 2 going on at the same time. If I'm 2 mats, I would assume. That's usually how they go. So
right.
Yeah, so best of luck to them.
Absolutely. Girls basketball, regional championships, titles handed out on Saturday. Had quite a few: Eau Claire Memorial, Menominee, Baldwin Woodville, Elk Mound, Fall Creek, Regis, McDonald Central, Neilsville, Gilman on a run, upsetting number 1.
The Cinderella slipper is on Gilman right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, they got a regional because they were the 9 seed, I think, and they picked up a couple of wins. You got Turtle Lake, Owen Withee, all capturing one, so a lot of local teams still alive right now.
I think it's probably the most I feel like we've had going into a sectional semifinals. So there's a ton of matchups coming up on Thursday night for all of these teams. So it just tells you just how good the girls basketball is in this area, and the fact that we're going to have, half the teams. There's still going to be plenty left battling for a state title going on.
And we'll know who goes to state after this weekend, right?
Yes. So it's I got to get this right. Thursday, Saturday, I believe, for the girls, and then it's Tuesday, Friday, Saturday for the boys.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tuesday's the regional quarterfinals, a lot of like the play-in games, a lot of people call them.
For the boys basketball.
For the boys basketball. Yep. And then, they'll play back again on Thursday. No, Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
trying to keep this all,
on.
Yeah. Because Saturday's that really busy day because you're going to have
girls trying to punch their tickets to states, and then boys trying to win regionals.
Yeah, and then you have state hockey thrown in there.
Too. And then
team state
wrestling going on. So
WIC championship for women's hockey.
Oh, man.
Men's hockey.
Do you need any part-time help this week?
Oh, I could use it. Trust me.
G-Man, what are you doing right now?
There you go.
We got a lot of girls basketball teams still alive. And then, as you mentioned, the boys starting their postseason run here, too, which, I mean, you look at a lot of teams here, too, expect probably the same for some of these boys teams.
I think so. I think it's going to be, we've seen it the whole year. Very competitive teams. Very, you got like a Bloomers at 2. Yeah. That's a great team, and I think they could have easily been a 1 as well. So, I mean, Fall Creek, once they got Bo Valrath back, has been just...
It's been a huge change.
Yeah.
Or I should say addition.
Elk Mound in Durand, Arkansas, over there in the Dun St. Croix. I mean, Emmanuel in the Dairyland. I'm trying to, I'm not trying to leave anybody out here, so I apologize if I do. Right. Cameron. Cameron's had a great season. Team like Stanley Boyd that's shown that they can compete with some of these top teams. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's going to be really fun to see what ends up coming out from all these teams. Because there is, like I said, there's teams, and somebody usually makes a run. I think D5's wide open. Mm-hmm. McDonald's now in D4, so in D5, it really makes... It'll be interesting to see who comes out, and that's kind of how it's been in the girls' side as well, too.
Definitely.
I throw, who we didn't throw in there in the girls' side? Regis pulling the upset of Durand, Arkansas to move on, too. So, I mean, that's big win for Teddy Joas and his team to get a regional title.
Yeah, we had a couple, like as we mentioned a little bit earlier, too, with Gilman, some upsets and, getting those regional titles, taking down some top seeds.
Yeah. I mean, I always look back to that Thorpe team that made it one state in like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a team that came into place, I think, with a losing overall record and got hot and made the run. That could happen. I mean, I think we could see that happen with some team there in D5. There's always that chance.
Moving over to the WIAC, you were, I don't know if you recovered yet from hockey from Saturday night's men's Blue Gold Stout game there, because you teased it, or I shouldn't say teased it, but you mentioned it last Monday. It could be, how it goes, maybe a mini game, and we got that.
They almost always, I feel like if the Blue Golds in that semifinal are always getting that mini game.
Yeah.
So, and it went till 12:30 at night. They finally got the victory over Stout. Commend Stout for playing their hardest. Almost had a chance there to get to the WIAC championship. Just that Blue Gold team stepped up when they needed to. So, yeah, I mean, now they take on, you could write it on there again. It's point. Blue Golds, winner goes to the NCAA tournament. And I think the Blue Golds honestly know that that's probably their only path.
Yep.
Is beating point and getting there. So, I mean, it's a playoff. It's win or go home for them. It's, I believe, a one-game series now.
Right.
So, it's just you go there on Saturday night. Whoever wins is headed to the tournament. So, the stakes couldn't be any higher for that team. So,
right. Do you think, now let's assume if either men's or women's or both, if they lose, which team do you think has the better chance maybe for an at-large? Or is it going to be really tough? It seems like we talk about that every year with an at-large.
Honestly, I think it's really tough on the women's side because River Falls is already using one of those at-large bids.
Yeah.
And you guys know there's Pool A, Pool B, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I think if you can win, I would think that the committee sees you beating the number one team, undefeated team in the nation. Mm-hmm. You would hope that would sway them. I just don't know if that's even honestly enough. I remember, I think it was Jack Bennett, I said this last week. He said, you don't want to leave it up to the tournament committee. Unfortunately, on the women's side, you don't have a choice because you don't have an automatic bid. So
right.
I hope I know they deserve to be in the tournament. I think, but it's just the way it goes with the automatic bids, and then how many teams that are ranked higher than them in the pairwise. Because right now they're sixth in the nation, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah,
they're sitting right there. So you get a win over River Falls, I feel like that should push you up there.
You would think,
but again, I never try to predict the Division III fields because so many times I've seen teams that I thought were a shoo-in, not get in.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah.
Even the year after the Blue Golds won the NCAA tournament, they won the regular season, I think, was WIAC, but didn't win the WIAC, didn't get in.
Yeah.
So you'd think the defending champs would have some kind of they would be like, okay, well, we want it.
No.
Didn't get in. So it's tough. It's a roll of the dice, really, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they can beat River Falls, that obviously helps your argument.
Right. Definitely. Basketball-wise, Blue Golds aren't in it, but noteworthy news that dropped on Friday morning. Blue Golds are going to be looking for a new men's basketball coach. Matt Seiberling stepping down as head coach. So when they said 12 years, I was like, gosh, that flew by too. It feels like, didn't think it was that long. It just seemed like it was
I had only been here
ago.
for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And he ended up taking over for Kyle Green, who was here for a year. So.
Yeah, so Seiberling stepping down. I got to imagine that's going to be an attractive job, though, because you've got the Sonintake Center. You're going to be starting a brand new season in that facility. But we don't know a whole lot of details and such. I know you were at the presser with AD Verdugo on Friday and that, but it sounds like it's going to be a nationwide search too.
Yes,
with this,
which they usually do, because I think, like you said, it's going to be an attractive job with the Sonintake Center and playing in the WIAC. And Verdugo touched on this. It's a double-edged sword playing in the WIAC, because if you take a job here, you're playing in arguably the most competitive conference in D3 basketball. Mm-hmm. So there's not much easing into things, because it's going to be tough from day one. So
right.
I think that still, to me, is attractive, because somebody who's up for the challenge coming here is a good. I don't want to say stepping, because you never want to say stepping stone.
Right.
But if somebody can come here, have success, we've seen the Bo Ryans of the world make that move.
Right.
So I think it's going to be very attractive. I think you look at the Sonintake Center, and the floor, they have the floor in there now, and it's more of a reality now.
Yep.
And I had to, when I went to that presser, I had to sneak in and take a look at the Zorn, because I wasn't there for the last game, and it's just like it's hit me. It's like, I'm never shooting a game in the Zorn again. We're moving to new digs for that team. So yeah, I think I don't want to discount what Matt Seiberling did. I really enjoyed his time here, and I have nothing but utmost respect for him. But yeah, it's going to be an attractive job, and I think we'll see who comes out of there. But I think they're going to have people lining up trying to get this job.
Yeah, because you mentioned WIAC. Yeah, it's tough, but that I would imagine too that's going to increase your talent pool for candidates.
Yeah,
because it is a top tier conference, and people want to be in that conference. Bo Ryan's a perfect example of that.
Oh, exactly. It is. I mean, you look at Platteville, and I think things are going to guard there. I mean, we'll see how long he's there, because of the success he's having. Yeah. So it's one of those things where if you show, the eyes of the nation can be on you, because it is such a respected conference.
Right.
So.
And that's honestly, that's probably a big reason why Bo Ryan's a finalist for the Basketball Hall of Fame too.
Right. Oh, exactly. And he should be in. He should have got in 2015.
I agree.
We were down there for the Final Four, and he was a finalist that year. Mm-hmm. The fact that he didn't get in.
Yeah,
it's a shame, because if you want to respect all aspects of basketball, that is a man who was a legend in Division III and was able to take that to the next level. So,
how this is a purely speculation kind of question or opinion, but I think it's unique in this area where you got the Blue Golds, but it's not that far down the street. Stout's right there too,
right?
From a recruiting standpoint, it's like, because I got to imagine those two schools with the proximity. They're kind of recruiting a lot of the same athletes.
And River Falls is only 45, 50 minutes from Stout.
Yeah.
And La Crosse is only, 90 minutes down.
Right.
It is a very unique situation to have this many. I mean, you can go to the cities, and there's like 3 or 4, Hamlin, and all those are St. Tom. Well, St. Tom's not anymore, but back in the day, they were all kind of in that same vicinity. But I think for like a Wisconsin, a state I think it's very unique. And yeah, I think there's a lot of, guys going to the same games trying to recruit, and it has to make it difficult. It really does, because if you're trying to go in this area, but I think this day and age, guys aren't getting overlooked.
Right.
So if somebody has talent, there's a way to find it from not just here, but somewhere online, the huddle videos and all that stuff. So if they have talent, you don't have the Terry Porters kind of slipping through, going to Stevens Point
and being a number or first round pick in the NBA draft. Yeah.
And obviously the Blue Golds had plenty of talent in the Ken Anderson era that for D1, but kind of slipped through the cracks. So, I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. But, yeah, recruiting is a whole different world than I think it was 25, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
And, we can't forget UW Stout women's basketball Hannah Iverson getting her team to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. What a run. I mean, this was a team that started...
She was an Eau Claire North product, too.
Yes.
Yep.
Went to UW. I covered her when she played at UW Green Bay, which is still weird for me. But, yeah. So, you have a team that started out, and they were in the top 10 in the nation. Mm-hmm. Started conference play, and I think they lost 5 of 6. And, they, you could have said that was it.
Yep.
There could have been people quitting. And then to go on the run to win, I believe, 9 straight games.
Yeah.
To now get to the NCAA tournament. What an incredible... I mean, it's been a roller coaster. You knew the talent was there. Mm-hmm. And, man, did that talent just... It just got better and better and better with each step, especially in the tournament. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were up on everybody right away.
Yep.
So it's great to see. And as a team that had... You had all the expectations. It's just molding it together and holding it together, and that's what Hannah Iverson did.
And they're playing... I mean, you talk about momentum when you get into tournaments or playoffs or like that. Kind of have to wonder, Stout might be a team... Nobody wants to play.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like
I think the teams know about it. I mean, again, this is a team that was a top 10 team at one point by D3 Hoops. So, and I think she talked about, it's tough making that turn into conference play and hoping that everything you did on the non-conference side equates. Mm-hmm. And for a while, it was a bit of a lag there. But man, once they've turned it on.
Yep.
And they'll find out who they play in the tournament. I think it's like at 1:30 today.
Yep.
When they announce the bracket. So good luck to them.
Big time win. I mean, Whitewater, you beat them, and then in the championship, you beat Oshkosh. I mean, for crying out loud, that's a heck of a run right now.
And both those games, they were, Oshkosh made a run, but and Whitewater did a little bit too, but they held both those teams pretty much in check the whole time, so I think they're going to end up pretty well.
Yeah,
in the tournament, wherever they end up.
Mm-hmm. What is this? I got their schedules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9 game winning streak, I think, right now?
I believe so.
Yeah, their last loss was January 27th against Oshkosh.
Right, and that's the other thing is they're playing a team. I think Oshkosh beat them both times in the regular season.
Yep.
So they came back, and it's always hard. Third time's always hard. You always say that in football, but yeah, for them to not even go on the road and do what they did too.
Yeah, because it was that stretch. I mean, they lost to Oshkosh the first time, lost to La Crosse, lost to Whitewater, lost to Eau Claire, lost to Platteville. That's 5 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And then it kind of changed after that. That's when they got on their run.
It's amazing. It really is.
And then, I know it's coming up here this weekend, but a lot of eyes, too, going to be on, I think, on that Blue Gold wrestling team as they begin, a little bit closer to some national. I know it's not quite nationals. It's the Midwest regional, but it's in your old neck of the woods in Stevens Point over there too.
That's Quant, I got to imagine.
Yep. So after getting their first WIAC championship, now they've got Midwest regionals, and they've got some big lofty goals.
Right now it's to get those guys over to La Crosse. Mm-hmm. So it's a big weekend for them. Mm-hmm. And again, nice that they're only you're traveling 2 hours.
Yep.
To Point. Have that. You're not too far. Bus ride shouldn't be an issue or anything like that.
Considering they travel the country, it seems like their regular season.
Exactly. So this should just be it's their backyard. So.
Yep, exactly. Big thanks to Justus for breaking down our local sports roundup.
No problem.
There.